Once upon a time in a faraway kingdom, there lived an emperor who loved clothes more than anything else. He had hundreds of outfits, each more splendid than the last, but he always wanted something new and different. He spent hours each day trying on his fancy clothes and admiring himself in the mirror. One day, two traveling tailors came to the kingdom. They weren't ordinary tailors, though. They claimed they could make the most amazing clothes in the world, so special that only wise and important people could see them. "These clothes are magical," they said. "Anyone who can't see them is either unfit for their job or just plain foolish." The emperor was very curious and thought, "If I wear these magical clothes, everyone will know how wise I am." So he invited the tailors to his palace right away and asked them to make him a suit of these magical clothes. The tailors, who were actually tricksters, set up their workshop in the palace. They pretended to work on their looms day and night, but they weren't really making anything at all. They just moved their hands and acted busy, but the looms were empty. The emperor was excited to see his new clothes, but he was also a bit nervous. What if he couldn't see them? To be safe, he sent his most trusted advisors to check on the tailor's progress. The advisors walked into the workshop and were surprised to see that the looms were empty. But they didn't want to admit they couldn't see anything. They thought, "If I say I can't see the clothes, the emperor might think I'm unfit for my job." So instead, they praised the incredible clothes they couldn't see. "Magnificent! Such fine colors and patterns," they said, even though they saw nothing. When the advisors reported back to the emperor, they told him how wonderful the clothes were. The emperor was relieved and even more eager to see them. He decided that he would wear his new clothes in a grand parade through the kingdom so everyone could admire him. Finally, the day came for the emperor to try on his new clothes. The tailors brought the clothes to the emperor, and he undressed to put them on. The tailors pretended to help him into the invisible outfit, adjusting imaginary sleeves and hems. The emperor looked into the mirror and, though he saw nothing, he didn't want to admit it. "How well they fit," he said, pretending to be pleased. "They're so light and comfortable, it feels like I'm wearing nothing at all." With great pride, the emperor stepped out into the street for the grand parade. The people of the kingdom had heard about the magical clothes and didn't want to seem unfit for their jobs or foolish. So even though they couldn't see anything, they all cheered and admired the emperor's new clothes. "What a splendid outfit," they shouted. "The emperor looks so grand." But in the crowd, there was a small child who hadn't heard about the magical clothes. As the emperor passed by, the child tugged on their mother's sleeve and said loudly, "But the emperor isn't wearing any clothes." At first, the people around the child were quiet, but soon they began to whisper to each other. "Did you hear that? The child is right." Slowly, the whispers turned into laughter, and soon everyone was pointing at the emperor and laughing. "The emperor has no clothes," they all shouted. The emperor stopped and realized that the child was right. He wasn't wearing anything at all. His face turned bright red with embarrassment, but he knew he had been foolish to believe the tailors. Instead of getting angry, he simply smiled, knowing he had learned an important lesson. The two tailors, seeing that their trick had been discovered, ran away as fast as they could and were never seen again. From that day on, the emperor became a wiser and kinder ruler. He learned that it's more important to be honest and humble than to try to impress others with fancy things. And so, the emperor and his kingdom lived happily ever after, with everyone remembering the day when a child taught them that honesty is always the best policy.